Kevin Molloy. I'm from McMinnville, Tennessee originally, live in Murfreesboro now. When my brother and I used to walk to town on Saturday morning, we used to pass this gas station that had a hot rod there, and that's probably before I was even in school. Really liked that hot rod, and I always thought it'd be neat to have one someday. And I never could figure out how come old guys always have neat cars. It's because that's when you can afford them.
Kevin, what's going on, man? How you doing? Let's do this. Good to see you. All right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Surprise! I mean, people back there are like, what the hell's he got in that thing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
80.
Wow.
80.
And it ate that up, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, you feel it. You feel all the bumps, but
Yeah.
it's not bad. There's just not a lot of travel on the rear axle.
Yeah.
My friend Ricky, who helped me work on this Suburban,
What was the first car that you ever had?
1967 Rambler American. I still have it. I wanted a car that handled well, and Ramblers aren't really known for handling well, but I read about anti-sway bars, so I bought a set of anti-sway bars from this company called Adco that made anti-sway bars. When I got the sway bars in, they didn't send all the brackets, so we just installed one of the sway bars on, and I said, well, let's go see how it handles. Ricky and I got in the car, and we went down this little windy road, and I, pushed all the power that 199 torque command would give, and we spun out. Completely spun around, and we were sliding sideways, and we slid through this yard sideways, and Ricky was kind of holding on to the door. He saw this telephone pole coming at us, and we kept spinning, and we finally ended up back in the road facing the other way, and we just drove on off. And then we got back to his workshop, and we found out one of my hubcaps had come off. So we went back to find the hubcap, and we went back. There were all these people walking around, looking around the road, and they said, there was a hell of a wreck here a while ago, but we can't find the car. Right over there in my carport.
Man, it's cool. So, do you have the interior?
Yeah.
You have everything?
Yeah.
What kind of shape was it when you stopped driving it? Was it?
It was in good shape. It was shifting really hard. But I drove it till 1980.
You drove it to 1980?
Yeah.
So it hasn't run since 1980?
Right. Yeah, 1980 was the year I parked the Suburban and the year I parked the Rambler.
And so when you finish this, maybe you're going to tow it behind the Suburban?
Yeah.
Like
On a trailer probably. I'd take them both to a car show that way. So, it's got some original, like this is the windshield washer
This
bag.
was where you put the fluid?
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It's actually in better shape, than the Suburban was.
Yeah.
This is a 1954 GMC Suburban. My father bought it on August 6th of 1954.
Original title?
That's the original title.
1954.
So it's been basically a one owner. It was a delivery truck for our laundry dry cleaning business. I learned how to drive in this truck. My brother learned how to drive in this truck, and it's been in the family ever since it was brand new. We just passed the 70th year this month. It was used from 1954 to 1978, and my dad sold the business in 78, and he kept the truck kind of as his personal vehicle. And then in 1980, we parked it when I moved to Arizona, and it sat under my sister's carport for over 30 years. It was pretty rough. It had been used as a work truck, so not all the drivers were delicate with it. The front bumper had been caught and broken, had been twisted around and broken. We welded it back together back in the 70s. It had rust. The front floorboard was completely rusted out. You could throw a cat through the floor. If we look at the floor, you can see there's the big holes I was talking about.
Flintstone.
The whole floor was rusted out. So we cut it way up here and put new floor in. We could get replacement floor pieces. And we put a bar in there to reinforce it as we took it apart. And you can see there's the starter pedal.
Oh, yeah.
There. The back wheel wells were rusted. Oddly, the plywood back floor was in perfect condition. Not a bit of rust, looked like it was brand new. So we cut all the rust out, welded new metal in, sandblasted the body, sandblasted the frame, did a complete restoration on it. We spent 2,500 hours on it. We kept track of it. And I was toying with, do I keep this stock or do I modernize it? And before we started, Ricky said, take my truck and drive down the road. So I got this truck, drove down the road, came back, got out, closed the door, and the door made a certain sound. I said, yeah, it brings back memories. He says, you want to drive an old truck or a new truck? And I said, you got a good point there. I think I'd rather have a new truck. It's got a stock engine in it. It's just stock in something else. It has a 6-liter Vortec engine out of a 2014 Cutaway van. That's a GMC van. It looks like a van in front and a box truck in the back. It has a 6-speed 6L90 transmission. I took it on a date one night, and the father of the girl said, I don't know if I want to let her go in that truck with that boy, you know. And the mother said, oh, that's Shorty Molloy's boy. He's fine. They're not going to do anything. Just go ahead and go. But I delivered laundry in this truck, so, you know. Yeah, check out the memorabilia in there.
So this is all original from the dry cleaner.
Yeah, we rented out shop towels to, you know, mechanics and stuff. We rented out barber towels to beauty parlors, barber shops. We rented uniforms. But this is all stuff we used to give away, you know, fly swatters, spatulas, thermometers. It had two pipes running across the ceiling so you could hang clothes on hangers there. And then, of course, clothes that were in bundles we just put on the floor. Rear air conditioner, front air conditioner, and they're both controlled from the front, of course. But they're heat and cooling.
So you just dressed it up really nicely, is it?
Yeah, there was nowhere to put it.
And this is the original seating arrangement, right? So
right.
Was this for like storing, I don't know, a ladder or something like that?
Yeah, you could actually have a third seat, and it originally had a third seat, but we took the seats out to use it as a delivery truck. The front seat folds forward so you can get into the back because it's only a 2-door, not counting the rear doors. I don't know how many they made. I do know that Chevrolet started making the Suburban in 1935 and GMC started making them in 1937. Then in 2000, they stopped calling it Suburban and changed it to the Yukon. GMC did.
Is this year specific? They did this for a number of years? Or, I mean, it looks like an airplane. Yeah.
That's the original steering wheel. Ricky painted it two-tone like to match the body. And then we had it in the truck. We're putting the horn button in. Pushed the horn button in, it was too tight and it broke it. A big chunk flew out about as big as my thumbnail. So I said, I'll make a clock out of it.
And you found another one on eBay?
Found another one, yeah, just a reproduction one, and then we repainted it and everything.
You fabricated this, and you even put these rivets in here too?
Yes. The louvers,
make it look.
They match this.
You guys thought of everything, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you did all that specifically so you could still have the glove box.
And we had to have a place to put the vents, so we made that panel down there. And then that's the controls for the air conditioning, those 6 knobs.
And this radio,
it's all the functions.
It looks factory. That's why.
Yeah. See, the radio's got all these features, but it doesn't have any buttons on it.
You have to control it.
So you can control it by actually turning the knob like 3 times and do something like change the not the channel, but change the. See, it's got I've got a USB input and an auxiliary input, so I've got I can play it off my phone, Bluetooth, or I can play it off a iPod, or use a thumb drive with music on it. So I've got all those options. And
is this all original hardware too?
It is. Okay. Yeah, that's the original hardware, original hinges. We put a lot of new bolts in, of course.
Now show me the tail lights again, because this was
so originally that was the only light.
That's the only tail light. So if you didn't
have turn signals, you only had one.
That's your brake light.
There's not right. Brake light.
And if your lights are on, that's it.
Yeah. And then this would be an option, the turn signals. So that's probably a dealer option. They put that on at the dealership. And they also made clamshell doors or barn doors. They call these barn doors. The clamshell doors open up like this.
I told you that before. That's what I love so much. I love I'm a history buff, right? Like,
yeah.
I love looking at something. Even when we went to the Andrew Jackson thing, I was looking at it. It was his glasses, and I was like, he wore those.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of neat that that stuff outlives you. So you would never sell this?
Never would. No.
I mean, if this guy pulled up next to you, he's like, hey, I got my checkbook.
It's like, that's fine, but I don't want it.
No chance.
No chance. No. I could never replace it,
No, you couldn't.
And the story, that's what's different. I mean, you go to a lot of car shows and there's a lot of nice cars, and you ask people, well, where'd you get that car? Well, I bought it last year, it's already fixed and everything. It's still a nice car, but it doesn't have the history of this,